We are very, very quickly coming to the end of our very first convening in Southern Africa Hub. And yes, Nazima, we are going to be holding the next convening in 2028. Yes, in 2028. So the Education Collaborative, like Dr. Nazima mentioned, is organized. We have, our entire governance structure of the collaborative. Currently, the legal entity under which we are is Ashesi University, right? At the very top, we have an executive committee, an advisory board, which is still information. And then we have the operational team. That's my team. Our office is located on Ashesi University's campus in Ghana. Now, at the regional hubs level, so the Education Collaborative is operationalized through regional hubs so that programs, engagements, connections are contextualized per the regional hubs. They are realistic, they are implementable in a way that makes sense to the institutions and their context. And so every region, well, so far East Africa, West Africa, and now Southern Africa regional hubs are being or have been formed. Each regional hub has its own governance structure, right? At the very top of every regional hub is a strategic committee. This strategic committee is made up of university leaders. Now, the strategic committee membership, right, is either a vice chancellor, a deputy vice chancellor, a dean, or someone in that executive leadership role. It is not a representative of the person. It has to be the leader themselves. And then there is a technical committee for each regional hub. And the technical committee really are also representatives of the same leaders who are there. So if Dr. Banky is a strategic committee member, there's a technical committee member from Dr. Banky's institution because it just facilitates work. The strategic committee is responsible for strategy development in the regional hub. Each regional hub has a hub budget. Each regional hub has an administrative team that's part of the bigger Education Collaborative administration and operational team. That's my team. So each regional hub has a regional hub director. For Southern Africa is Dr. Nazima. And then also has coordinators or managers, right? Usually it's about 2 people working with the director. And then they work directly with the strategic committee. They are sort of like the board, determining priorities. The Education Collaborative, we have the long-term strategy, the long-term goals, but about every year we have the annual goal, what we are working towards, what the priorities are. But within the regional hub, the strategic committee determines for our region, where do we want to start? Because it doesn't necessarily have to follow exactly what the bigger picture of Education Collaborative is, or the specific roadmap is. Maybe for Southern Africa, the focus will research, whereas West Africa, the focus is faculty exchange, etc. I think in a few minutes, we're going to talk more about our focal areas in the programs. But the strategic committee is responsible for that. They are also responsible for representing the Education Collaborative in the broader higher education ecosystem in that region, right? With the different stakeholders, government, policy. The Education Collaborative, we believe that definitely there's all the different key stakeholders, right? There's the government, there's industry. What we are saying is that one of these key stakeholders needs to drive the transformation. And higher education institutions, universities, are the ones we are saying should drive the transformation. And so the strategic committee members are responsible for ensuring that the hub in general is pushing this transformation in their region along the vision of the Education Collaborative. And we ensure that all the different hubs remain connected so that we are not, isolated from each other. And then the technical committee members go on to drive implementation of the goals and the plans that are set by the strategic committee members. They also determine the budgets, the strategic committee, how it should be used, where the convening should be held, the themes for the convenings, measurements, reporting. There's a seat on the board for the strategic committee chairperson. And then on the other side, administratively, we have what we call a host institution. The Education Collaborative, when we are engaging in each region, partners with one university to be our host in that region. This really helps operationally. It's a very deliberate operational engagement because oftentimes, our continent, it's not just about travel. Sometimes even moving money across different countries is very difficult. A lot of taxes, a lot of fees. So sometimes it helps to work directly with an institution that is in the region. It has fewer barriers, fewer fees, etc. So our operational partner is usually what we call a host institution. That operational partner is not necessarily the same person that is the chair of the strategic committee, because it's different requirements to be an operational partner, right? So all of these details are things we can share with you because it's all documented in our governance structure, operational processes, etc. So the Southern Africa Hub, I think in the next few weeks, is going to be reaching out to all of you with all the details on what it means to be in the strategic committee of the Education Collaborative, what it means to be a member of the Education Collaborative, and then invite all Southern African institutions that are present here today to submit to join the strategic committee of the Education Collaborative for Southern Africa. And then we give ourselves about a year to work towards the requirements to be in the strategic committee. Because the strategic committee members have a certain requirement. They have to be a member of the Education Collaborative. There's requirements on being a consortium member. There's engagement requirements. There's a lot of different things involved. But we're saying, for starters, if you're interested, you join. Together, we begin to work toward achieving those targets and those goals as member institutions. So that's like a quick overview of how we structure the Education Collaborative. I'm going to invite Dr. Banky. Dr. Banky currently is the chair of the West African Hub of the Education Collaborative. Please, let's give him. And then I'm going to invite Dr. Olive Sabiti. Dr. Sabiti is currently the chair of the East Africa Hub of the Education Collaborative. And then I also want to acknowledge in our midst, we just heard from Bernard. Bernard is the chair of the technical committee of the East Africa Hub of the Education Collaborative. Bernard, you can just wait. And then Edward is the chair of the technical committee of the West Africa Hub of the Education Collaborative. I think he's stepped down. Okay, so Dr. Banky and Dr. Olive, we have a very brief task here today. There's a new kid on the block. They are called Southern Africa Hub. But our task here, I think I'll sit down. Our task here today is to together launch the Southern Africa Hub, officially open, to get started on setting up the leadership teams, setting up the technical committees, determining goals, plans, strategies, and really building out the hub, the engagement, and the transformation that's going to happen, right? So I'm going to hand over to you to share just a bit about being a strategic committee member, what that means. You've done it for 2 terms. And then also Dr. Olive.
Okay, so let me start by congratulating the Southern Hub. We have asked for, we have dreamt about this, we've talked about it, and finally, it has become a reality. So congratulations once again to each and every one of you. Each time we welcome a new hub, it shows growth. Just like when you welcome a new baby, it's growth. But it is important for us to know that a lot is also expected of us. And so in the last, I would say, 6 months, there's been a lot of back and forth, assistance to Nazim, all kinds of things. And to see this in reality, it's really exciting for us. However, this is the beginning of the journey. This is when we will know whether this is just a fluke or whether it is something that we have anticipated correctly. As the chair of West Africa, I've done this now, I think twice now. They refuse to let me go. So there are two issues. So on one occasion, I've been both the chair and the host institution. They are separate things. But as we started, we took over the two responsibilities. By the second period, then we have been able to successfully transit another host into another host institution. But I still remain the chair. Why am I saying this? It has a way of helping to pull everybody together, looking at the strength of each institution within the hub. It's not a competition. In fact, if there is only one thing that I take out of EduCollab, is the fact that people are willing, always willing, to pour themselves out into the collaboration. And somebody put it very nicely this morning. He said, we are a great resource to one another. I think it is the appointed coordinator, director, everything, that said it this morning. And it is absolutely correct. So when I meet other vice chancellors, the first thing they see in me and in our conversation is this is a guy that we can work together. This is a friend. We're not even thinking about competition at all. Yes, some of you said co-opetition, I've heard of that, but honestly, we never think of it. This is talking about West Africa, but beyond West Africa, we are now reaching out. As soon as I saw the VC of Strathmore, the first thing I told him is that one of my faculty is coming to his university. Because for us, it's like the more we are able to strengthen the connection within our continent, the easier it becomes for us to raise or amplify our voices. And because of that, people will not only just notice us, they will make sure that, oh, these guys are solid people. So I want to encourage you as we launch this hub to please, there is no small person in the hub. There is no big person in the hub. We all have something to bring to the table. And please, please, and please, let every voice be heard. Congratulations once again.
Thank you very much. As Dr. Banky was speaking, I was worried. I was saying, is he going to talk about the takeover? He's always threatening to take us all over. And we are still resisting. But again, let me also join my voice and thank and congratulate the South African Hub and the South African members, because the puzzle is now complete. Congratulations, members of the South African Hub. Because you see, we had the East African Hub, we had the West African Hub, but there was a missing puzzle. And yet we accepted this morning, and we know it, that South Africa is home to our intellectual powerhouses. Many of us leave our countries and come to study in South Africa. So if we're talking about higher education and you miss out South Africa, that has been a big anomaly, but we are glad that that is over now. So I encourage you, please join in full fervor. I recall that one of the things that has been predominant in the Education Collaborative is we keep on saying, you know, let's do things south to south. If you're offering dual degrees, why do you go to Denmark or to Netherlands or wherever? Why don't you go to West Africa or to South Africa or to East Africa? So now the puzzle is over, you're here, and Dr. Banky raised something very important. He spoke about research, and it is true. One of the key actions that are required in the Education Collaborative is applied research. Applied research, distinct from pure research. And you are powerhouses of research, so here we are. Take the lead. Not like Big Brother, but in a collaborative manner, and I'm sure that the hub will be greatly strengthened. I'm a fairly new kid on the block, let me say, in terms of the strategic committee, not like Banky, who has served two terms. But what I would say is that the Education Collaborative is it's really a fun thing to be part of, a fun consortium to be part of, because all the things it offers are great for our institutions, for our students, for our countries. In fact, I don't know of anyone who has ever attended any event of the Education Collaborative and they went back the same. Whenever they come, they say, oh, I wish we knew, where have we been? You know, we should have joined yesterday. So it is great to be, yes, it's going to involve commitment. It is going to involve engagement, but really engagement, which is what we all love doing. We want to improve the outcomes of our learners. We want to improve the outcomes at our institutions of higher education. So there is really nothing new. So it's just the commitment of both the leaders. And of course, a call out, which is of course, Dr. Nazima has already pointed it out, expanding membership, because the more, the merrier. Because each of us has a block to contribute to the general goal of the Education Collaborative. So let us all become ambassadors wherever we go. Let us tell others about the Education Collaborative. There are people who don't know. It is our role to make it known. Welcome again so very much to the Education Collaborative.
Boom, 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 dun, dun, dun. So in
Hello?
fully welcoming, we'll have one representative from each of the institutions represented here from Southern Africa. So preferably the highest person in your organization. One each. You're not hearing? If the VC is not here, then one person will come. If the VC is not here, you will represent the most senior person. But one per institution. One per institution. And then we are going to give you the mic to be sure that it is one per institution. So,
We're good.
yeah? Okay. Val, why are you going to that side? There are spaces here now. I want you to. Are we all correct? Okay. We're waiting for one more person. By the way, before, you don't know why we are doing this, but you are facing everybody. As at today, we are just under 500,000 for students, engagement, contact, and all of that. We are hoping that with your coming on board, in the next 2 years, we are going to hit our target of 1 million. Do I hear yes? You have just committed yourself. Okay, so Nazima, where is Nazima? You have to join us. In fact, you step up.
Come up.
You step up here. Give us space. Yeah, you will be with us here. No, you are coming here so that they can see you. Okay. We're going to, on the count of three. On the count of three, we are going to say, welcome Southern African Hub. That's too long, right?
No, we'll say it.
But you remember. But we have to say it. On the count of three, it will be welcome Southern African Hub. 1, 2, 3.
Welcome, Southern Africa House. you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome.